Please report anyone with a skin rash or other symptoms immediately.
What I'm trying to say
It may not be easy to maintain calm in the city.
All city hospitals are reporting cases testing positive for avian flu.
Demonstrating flu-like symptoms.
The city has been quarantined.
The death toll is rising at an alarming rate.
Trying to get more in from Canada, but they just want to wait and see.
Due to the recent pandemic, we are stuck at home and we must isolate ourselves for the greater good. But at the same time, we're getting bored during this lockdown. And there are only a limited number of Hollywood movies on isolation. And when all those movies kept on playing on a loop, we realized that it was time for a change. So this week, we decided to check out some of the best foreign language disaster movies which dealt with a situation somewhat similar to the recent pandemic. And we were awestruck. In this video, we have carefully selected only 5 foreign language movies out of all the movies we have seen. Like the previous video on pandemic movies that you guys can check out at the top right corner of this video, we are skipping zombie movies for this list as well. Many have pointed out how institutional inadequacy has worsened the recent pandemic by drawing parallels to the AIDS pandemic, which was similarly intensified by governmental neglect. There are a variety of historical films about the worst days of the AIDS crisis, but few match up to this particular French drama. It's deeply affecting in its portrayal of the ACT UP in the 1990s, not just through its depiction of young people grappling with premature mortality, but also in how it observes the minute details of political organization, debate and activism. Virus takes us through those tension-ridden days in the summer of 2018 when the deadly Nipah virus surfaced in Kozhikode and Malappuram districts. As the potentially fatal infection begins to spread, the state's health minister gathers a team of officials, medics and volunteers to investigate its origins and stem its spread. The movie depicts the sheer hard work of that group of people for whom the people living just a couple of state borders away from Kerala were saved from coming in contact with what could have ended up being a nationwide tragedy.
Abid.
Flu is a medical disaster movie depicting how a South Korean city at a sneezing distance from Seoul becomes ground zero for the H5N1 epidemic. As people drop like flies and the city goes into mass quarantine and lockdown, various expressions of blind fear work on a primal level, while patients gross out symptoms attain a degree of surreal horror. The movie is not short on cliches. For example, initially the government's ruthless containment raises dramatic stakes, but how foreign powers intervene is impossible to believe.
Launch secondary strike as planned. Fighter bombers, confirm your position, please.
What did you say?
Further straining credibility, the president who hours before looked down upon his citizens as toxic waste.
You're not going to let the virus out of the camp, are you?
No. I'm ready to sacrifice some people to protect my country.
Suddenly makes a heroic about turn.
Tell them to hold fire.
Other hiccups become more noticeable in the second half, including the unlikelihood that Jigu manages to avoid catching the virus, and the fact that the American UN advisor speaks with an Aussie accent.
Mr. President, may I have a moment with you?
No, Mr.
But fully conveying the sudden and unpreventable nature of modern pandemics like SARS, director Kim Sang-soo builds white-knuckle tension from images of mass panic. The scariest part was the mean soldiers aiming to shoot the little girl who's escaping the quarantine. The most most terrifying thing in a horror film, for me, isn't a jump scare or gory disemboweling, it is the realistic breakdown of society. The bloodless violence in front of the food truck in Contagion is more haunting than zombies eating other human beings. This movie, on the other hand, is full of dull patches and a wholly unsurprising twist. There is an epidemic of parasitic worms causing infected people to go mad, and there is a money-hungry corporation behind this outbreak. The symbolism of both parasites was perfect. But the moments of panic in the streets are riveting, and the odd specifics of this particular apocalypse are original enough to keep you engaged. This Japanese movie draws similarities with the recent outbreak in many possible ways. The story revolves around Shuoshi Matsuoka, a doctor at a Tokyo hospital who misdiagnoses a patient's disease as a common cold. But after the patient's sudden death, he realizes that it's a very serious disease, which can make the population extinct. So he struggles to find out the cause of the disease with Dr. Eiko Kobayashi.
Eiko! Eiko! 聞こえるか、Eiko!
And that was the list, guys. I hope you shall enjoy these movies in this period of isolation. Stay home and stay safe, and remember guys, this is the only time you're home and yet you're playing for the entire world. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Click on the little bell icon to be notified whenever a new one comes out. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. I'll see you guys next time.